Did you know domestic violence is the second leading cause of death among African American women? And domestic violence is the third leading cause of death among Native and Indigenous women. And domestic violence is the seventh leading cause of death among Caucasian women. Research tells us 1 in 3 women are sexually abused. 1 in 6 men are sexually abused. 82% of victims under 18 are female. 88% of child sexual abusers are male. Only 6 of every 1,000 rapists spends even one day in jail. 93% of child sexual abusers are known and trusted by the child. 34% of child sexual abuse victims are under age 12, often starting as young as age 4. And sexual abusers have typically 50 to 150 victims before their first arrest and many more after. Now, most people realize if someone says, "I love you," and then hits you, something isn't okay. But domestic violence is much, much more than just bruises. Non-physical domestic violence is typically far more damaging than we realize, and often we don't even recognize it. More than 70% of domestic violence victims are female. Domestic violence includes 13 types of abuse. These forms include child abuse, cultural abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse, intellectual abuse, pets and property abuse, physical abuse, psychological abuse, sexual abuse, social abuse, spiritual abuse, and verbal abuse. All 12 of these types center around one core mindset, a 13th form of abuse, the abuse of power. Domestic violence happens in churches too. What happens when a church is not a safe place for victims? Clergy often say things like, "You just need to forgive. If you gave him more sex, he wouldn't look at porn or cheat. Why are you digging up the past? You're so bitter. You need to stop talking about this. Go home and pray more instead of talking to others about your issues. You should be proud to suffer like Jesus did. I've never seen him be mean to anyone. Maybe you're making it up. If you leave, you'll ruin your children's lives and anger God." When churches and clergy refuse to listen to survivors and offer tangible, safety-focused support, when they remain uneducated about the patterns of abusive behaviors, when they avoid getting involved in messy situations, when they excuse sinful behaviors based on someone's good public image, when they give advice that fails to prioritize safety for the victims, when they fail to report all allegations to civil authorities for investigation, when they prioritize public reputation of the organization over truth and justice, and when churches and clergy hold victims accountable but not the abusers who are causing harm, the church becomes complicit in double abuse. Double abuse misrepresents the heart of God and is a form of spiritual abuse. James 1:7 says pure and genuine religion in the sight of God the Father means caring for the orphans and widows in their distress. This includes those who have been emotionally abandoned and abused by those who vowed before God to love, cherish, honor, and protect. Every church leader should learn the signs of abuse. If you are experiencing any of these, there is help. If you are afraid for your safety, call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-SAFE. Are you wondering if you are in an abusive relationship? Find resources at facebook.com/Sarah McDougall author. Are you wanting resources for healing after trauma, coaching, courses, and other information? Get all of that and so much more at www.wilderness2wild.com.